the temperature has definitely dropped. And so today it's time for a warming Portuguese red. This comes from the Alentejo, which takes up most of the south of Portugal until you get to the Algarve. And it's a warm part of Portugal, really gets very hot towards the south of the Alentejo. But this wine comes from the northeastern corner of the Alentejo, near a city called Portalegre. And it comes from the foothills of a mountain called São Mamede, a granite mountain. So this benefits from the granite-based soils of the mountain and around the mountain, and granite soils always give bright, fresh, crisp wines. So this is called Aventura. It's made by a woman called Susana Estaban. And Susana was born in Spain, actually, but only just in Spain, just over the northern border between Spain and Portugal, in a town called Tui, very much Alvarinho, or Albarino if you're Spanish, country. She studied in Spain, and then she came to work in the Douro Valley, first for an estate called Quinta do Corto, and then I met her when she was working for Quinta do Crasto, a really tremendous Douro estate. We see quite a lot of their wines in the UK. And she worked there for 5 years before deciding she wanted to strike out on her own. So to start with, she worked as a wine consultant, and she was incredibly successful. She won lots of prizes for being a brilliant young winemaker, and eventually thought she wanted to work on her own, make her own wines. She started looking for vines, and in 2011, she found 2 patches of old vines on São Mamede, so high old vine, mixed old vines, and she started making her own wines. This one, Aventura, she named it Adventure in Portuguese because it symbolises her transition from making wine for other people to going it alone and making her own wines. And there's a lovely picture of a woman aviator in a plane on the label. Anyway, so this is a blend of grapes, as is so often the case in Portugal. 40% is Aragonese, which is what the southern Portuguese call, what the Spanish call Tempranillo, Tinto Origin in the north, Aragonese in the south, 40%. And the other 40% is Touriga Nacional. And then you have 20% of those old mixed vines, typical varieties from around Portalegre. It's a lovely, warming wine. It's got this very ripe nose of it's mulberries. There's something sort of stony about it as well. Lovely freshness. I'm drinking this quite cool, so I can feel the tannins, but they're very gentle, easy tannins. You could easily, in a warm room, you could easily drink this by itself. But if you wanted to, you could serve it with all sorts of different meats or cheeses. And there's a lovely sort of raspberry perfume to it as well. But it's a smooth, generous Alentejo wine, but with the crispness of those high vineyards around Portalegre, made by one of the most exciting young-ish winemakers working in Portugal. You can buy it for $17.99 from the Oxford Wine Company, Aventura 2016 by Susana Estaban.